Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Okay. I'm doing this right.
Red Eye Night is basically it's a competition for images that capture the essence of San Francisco nightlife.
The two photos that I have here tonight, one of them is from the film on. I chose that venue to shoot a musician, and he just happened to be walking, finishing his set, and he was in the street having a cigarette.
A certain kind of freedom of the individual, which I try to express in my own work. And so when that won, I was very happy. In fact, I looked at the subject matter as, you might say, a sculpture, and I try to walk around it and find the best point of view. And the background's got to be a painting. And as an artist, I can move that background by, dancing around with the subject itself.
You look at something and you're like, is there something that it kind of like it says to you or makes you question? And I think that's what's really important with photography. So in this particular competition, I think what people look for is it something unusual? Does it make you like tilt your head and ask what's going on, or kind of question what is really in there? Because sometimes with photography, even though it's reality and it captures something and freezes it, it still lets you see it in a different way, and I think that's really important.
Composition is really important, so you've got to be really careful about what's behind you. Trying to use your camera in a way that you're not getting distracted by what's in the background.
The advice I would give to some beginners would be, I'd probably say a couple of things. One is never center your subject in the middle of the frame. That's kind of a old school theory, the kind of rule of thirds of dividing up the frame into thirds and putting people not in the center. That's an easy one. One thing I like to do is I like to use different angles. So sometimes I'll get down on the ground, I'll get really high, different things like that. And like with kids especially, it's like getting down low on their level and getting really close, I think is a good way to really get the energy of children.
The amateur's biggest mistake is probably not photographing enough. And they should, I think, carry a camera more frequently and photograph more and just slowly look at their work.
Biggest mistakes I see beginners making are kind of related to some of the tips. Basically, people a lot of times just stand up and take the picture. They don't move around. The camera stays this way, and they just kind of do this. They might as well be on a tripod where they should be kind of bending down and moving around and kind of experimenting with the angles.
For the beginner, I would say digital. Just live in tomorrow. And think about it. And the beautiful thing about digital, it's always related to now. You're always having an evaluation of exactly what you just recorded. Have fun and make history.
It's good advice there. Try different angles. Don't do the old traditional put the subject in the center thing. And carry a camera. Just photograph more.
That's a good idea. Very good idea. Well, we've got some good food coming up. It's a staple at every